Here we are.
Good evening, Melrosians around the world. I'm Tom Catalini.
I'm Sam Hammer.
I'm Tom Shampoo.
And I'm Jen LeClaire.
And this is Let's Talk Melrose. Melrose, a show where Melrosians talk to Melrosians about Melrose. And as usual, there's tons to talk about in the bristling news of Melrose this week, like every other week. But there really actually has been a lot going on. Not the least of which was, but before we get into that,
about the news about Melrose.
But before we get into that, we just celebrated MLK Day yesterday, and some of us had a long weekend. I'm kind of curious what how everybody's holiday went, or
Well, who was off yesterday? Ours is an optional holiday. We have a floating holiday, so I took it off. But
yeah, same.
Yeah. So we're hoping to have Linda Apple from the Human Rights Commission on in a little bit at some point. It's going to be a mystery as to when she
Star-studded. Star-studded.
To talk a little bit about MLK Day of Service. So Rosie and I went out and participated in something in the morning. We didn't make it to the evening program, so I'll be curious to hear from Linda how that went. So I'll save my banter about that till when Linda comes on. But it was a nice day. Oh, she's here.
She's here.
In the little chat here.
Linda attended her evening event on the arm of a certain LTMM host.
Oh, nice. So should we bring Linda on now before we get into the news? Is it to cover the MLK Day, or what's the plan here?
I think let's wait because we have other things that the Human Rights Commission is going to cover. So they have a busy winter. So
hold on in the green room there, Linda, and enjoy the M&Ms in your trailer.
So one thing I wanted to share over the weekend, I was in town and I got to see the Embrace. It gives you a sense of scale there.
Yep.
Quite an impressive.
So if it could fit on your head is how the scale looks, is what you're.
Look like it.
I'm actually some distance of it, so you can see people, walking around there. And I'm not sure if I used the 0.5 mode for this or not.
Looks like you did.
Yeah, so it looks even further away. But I think so. I just found out on the news, other news channel tonight, that apparently this is controversial and not universally well received. I thought it was absolutely stunning, and I think somebody did make the comment you kind of have to be there to see it. So to be able to walk all the way around and through it, and you can go underneath, I thought it was pretty amazing and pretty stunning. So I would recommend folks go down to the Boston Common and check it out sometime when you're in town, or even make a trip in.
I agree. And then the other thing, just to remind folks or to tell folks that there were 8 submissions, I believe, and this was crowd sourced. Like the city voted on which piece that they wanted to have, and this is the one. Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah. So there was a process, but even with that, no artwork or public artwork in particular is without differing takes
detractors
of opinions, and that's fine. I mean, maybe a detractor, or maybe a poignant observation that no one had thought about before, and that's really the purpose of it. So especially when you're dealing with works of art that are commemorating an icon like Martin Luther King and and there's history there, and Boston has problematic history, so there's a lot going on there, and so it's fun. It's good that that people are talking about it, for better and worse. That's what it's there for, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, art elicits conversations, right? So this is another one of those times to have a conversation, aside from the stuff that some people were complaining about. Even some people just saying you can't see their faces. There are no heads. There's no faces there. Elicits a conversation about what it is to create something to honor a person or two people in this case. So
Right.
anyway, I'm with you,
Yeah.
Jen.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out.
Same.
Yeah.
But we should go together.
Field trip.
Field
Yeah.
trip.
LTMM.
It's very cool. All right, so are we we into the news now?
Yes.
I just wanted before we get into the news. My weekend also consisted of my mother-in-law's 90th birthday.
that's
So
Wow, happy birthday.
Moo.
happy birthday, Moo. She had we had a wonderful party for her. It was over where she lives. It was just a great day. She was thrilled. She's still talking about it today. Linda can talk more about this, but she just had a great time. So it was a lot of fun. And thanks for the folks over there.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, we were also at a birthday party Saturday night, but
Yeah, most of the rest of the LTMM crew was keeping up with the youngsters. We went in different directions. So
That's right. I know.
Keeping
Given
up
age-
is maybe overstating it a little bit.
Claire Martin's 21st birthday, and she had help celebrating. I think all of our livers are still recovering.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who was the last man standing? So like, was there
We
like
don't know. That's the point. Yeah.
Cameras were turned
we have,
off.
we have yet to see one of the Dugans. But can I just actually should tell the story. So one of the places we went to was like down a little alleyway, and it had a candle outside the door, and next to the like you couldn't tell there was anything there.
Yeah.
It said call this number for them to bring you in or whatever. So there were other groups there just calling the number and not getting through, or like not really convincing the maitre d' that they should be able to come in. Well, Mr. Catalini decides to text the number, and he texted open sesame.
After asking like 4 people how to spell sesame.
And
Yeah, they
And-
responded. They responded. Who is this? We were already off at the next thing, but I did tell them they missed co-host of LTMM. So
Yeah. The next time.
well, I
just
think
not
you
to
should-
rub it in, but you could have been
think
They're
famous.
lost.
I
They're
think you
lost.
should try to get a table for another weekend through your new.
Yeah.
phone.
Now I need to know what's in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Right,
What was the place called?
Offsuit.
Yes.
Offsuit.
Because Yvonne's is kind of like that downtown crossing. You
Yeah.
have to go through a little storefront, and then suddenly it opens up into this kind of speakeasy. You know,
Right. Carrie Nation was like that too.
that's what we need. Speakeasy here in Melrose.
That's yeah, it's all the rage. I
twice.
was I went to one with some people at work a month or so ago, and it's actually a little speakeasy, and then it's also an arcade. It was a very cool
Right.
place.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, the difference though in this day and age though is it's not really a speakeasy if like you have a website. You know,
Right. It defeats the whole purpose.
it's speakeasy-esque. Anyway.
Well, there's just some gimmick to getting in. Like this other one I went to, and I'm just like looking left and right, up and down. The guy goes, "Oh, you looking for the arcade? It's through here."
over here. Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Let's go.
Never gets old.
Good.
Oh my
Never
God.
gets old, and appropriately because Sam is going to lead us off with the
Yes.
news this week.
Oh my goodness. Well, I might need some help like piecing things together because a lot has happened since
Yeah.
last Tuesday night. I think we were still at a standstill with our teacher contract. But by the end of the week, there was enough heightened activity that we received a letter from our superintendent of a potential impending strike, which would have been either Friday or today, actually, which kind of set the news cameras again in a flurry. So the news was all over Melrose again on, I think it was that Thursday night. And then Friday came, and by the end of the day Friday, yes, the members of the unit had taken a vote to strike. And it was, I think, going to start this week, but that means that you kind of can pull people together. Yeah. I'm sorry,
Right.
Jen.
No, yeah. So that pulled everybody together. They met on Saturday. Right?
So they met on Saturday. It was a long day, more so for them than for the rest of us who were doing other things. But I did get a message while we were out that a contract had been agreed to. So that's great news. And let's see, then there was a rally already planned to prepare for the strike and to further continue support of the community and parents and staff and so on. So they still went through with the rally, but this time it was more celebratory, but also like pretty mindful that what it took to kind of get us to this place.
Yeah.
So I went to that, which was pretty great. And I had a sign that was made that said, "We support Melrose educators." And then that sign grabbed the attention of the Boston Globe. So then the Globe was out grabbing quotes, which was nice. But and the Lincoln staff, they all made signs, so they were also in the Globe and kind of out there right in front of the crowd. But it was interesting to hear from not only the local union reps at the rally, but also 3 parents spoke about the impact that our educators have on their kids' lives, and then also kind of refocusing everybody to the next thing. This was just getting over this one hurdle was just our first step. So we have to continue the conversation on making sure that our schools are adequately and honestly funded. So our next budget cycle is coming up. Conversations are starting. So we'll see how it goes.
The contract is for 3 years, though. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. With pay increases over the 3 years. I think 3%, 3.5, 3.5. I think it was, or was it?
It's 10% total for 3
Yeah,
years.
total over 3 years.
Wow.
It's retroactive from July, and they're
Mhm.
they're planning on meeting and ratifying it and signing it on Thursday.
Yep.
And another item was, as part of the negotiations, was the more planning and prep
Yeah.
time, I guess, right? So they have that as well, which is great.
That is really good. So now we have to, I think we'll see how things go, but I think we need to keep our Tuesday evenings free to continue to go back to the school committee to make sure that, I want our principals to ask for the staffing that they need. We've had this conversation here pre-pandemic way too much about going from the Lincoln community, but ask for what you need to run your school safely and not just adequately, but like with what you feel might be the best staffing for that school, best resources, best human resources. Ask for what you need, and then that should roll right up to the school committee so they can see what is it that we really need in order to run a successful school system, and then we can take it forward from there. But no more austerity. We need to present an actual budget and then ask for the money that we need. That's just my 2 cents. So that's coming up next.
I would like to learn a little bit more too about what just happened, because we had this unsolvable problem and it went all the way to the brink, and then all of a sudden it's solved. So I'd love to know what the final negotiating points were and what that means for moving forward, because it will all be under a new superintendent and new,
Right.
leadership. I think there's going to be potential change of school committee members. I think we change a few out every couple of years, and I think this is an election year. So, you have to be able to sustain that as a community. There has to be a structure bigger than. So, it'd be helpful to know what went down in a little more detail. At least I'm curious.
And I'm wondering, like, how often this kind of thing happens, where like this seems to be an impasse, nobody's able to make progress, and then it comes to the very edge, and then suddenly there's a resolution like that.
It seemed like it happened in Malden and other towns, but much more accelerated. This seemed to go on for quite a while. Because that wasn't Malden in the news, like, I don't know, like 5 months ago or something on this.
They did go on strike as well, but we didn't actually. So we didn't have to go on strike, but Malden went on strike. I'm not sure for how many days, but it was when that happens, things get resolved pretty quickly. Money seems to appear.
Right.
So I'm glad we're just here at this point.
Yeah. And the money thing is the thing that needs to be tended to going forward. Let's keep track of every million.
Yeah, and we all live near the school, one of the schools, and it was nice to see the kids walking to school this morning, and folks bringing their kids to school.
Yeah. Yes. So that was, I think that's that's it, right?
All right.
Yeah.
What do
Yeah.
we honor?
Yeah.
All right. What else we got?
Well, the other thing I just added on here, so Melrose, I mean, it sounds crazy to say, but I'm really tired of making the news. I don't know.
Yeah.
Melrose made the news again. There was a, what they call it? A spotlight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Investigative reporting.
Did we talk about this last
No,
week?
it's small
No,
town secret.
not
small
on the,
town secrets?
not on the air. I think it came out maybe just after the show or something.
We're talking small town secrets.
secrets.
Small town secrets. There we
Small
go.
town
Small
secret.
town secrets. Yes.
That's-
The fire station is in massive disrepair.
Yeah.
It was a 5-minute segment. It was actually, pretty revealing to me to see. I mean, I've heard about this, some of the public safety buildings for years, and I guess there's a new website that explains it in a lot of detail that I have not been to. But this reporting did not make the town, the city look good. It was a little bit of gotcha journalism with the
Yeah.
mayor.
Yeah.
I thought, and this is much bigger than the mayor. This takes like a dead override and the whole city to sort of come together and rally, which I don't know. My guess is we had, I think this was talked about in the Dolan administration, and maybe some long-term planning was underway. And my guess is the pandemic took our eye off the ball. But I don't know where this stands. I know Eugenia, I think, was serving on that committee for a while, and I don't know where the latest stands. But the little news report was showing that the fire station, like on Main Street, was built for horse and buggy. It has no heat, has no air conditioning, has some structural problems underneath, on and on, dead rats, and all kinds of like not good conditions. So
I just put in the link also for the public safety building project, that we now have a website for that as well, from the Public Safety Building Committee, which Eugenia is on, and others. And it's pretty interesting if you don't have to dive that deep to trying to get a lot of information. So,
we've talked about this before, and I feel like it's a point to address or to kind of mention here. And that is that part of the issue, I think, that maybe isn't captured necessarily on the news story, but it's part of the overall dialogue for these kinds of situations, is the library renovation that's happening. And I think that also felt like it was a part of the conversation. You see it online, you see it other places. Why not the fire stations? Why the library? And I just want to, point out that it's not either or. There's a way to get both of those to happen. And the library happened primarily because we had a grant from the state that was paying for half of the renovation. So I feel like it's important to mention that to folks who maybe not remember that that's a part of why the library is being renovated.
And it was talked about at the time. We saw
Yeah.
some presentations that showed how that, the debt could be serviced across all these projects over a long period of time. So yeah, it's we get a lot going on in the city. So I don't know if that helps. I don't know if that helps. It probably doesn't help the brand of Melrose, right, to be on the small town secrets or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that helps move the conversation forward. I hope. I guess I have to go check out this website, or maybe we'll have Eugenia come on or something like that to figure out. But it would be nice to know that plans are still moving forward on that.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know the point of the little sensational story. But
Yeah, small town secrets.
yeah,
All right. Well, we have
we got better sequence than that, I'm
phenomenal-
guessing.
I was going to say, we
Yeah.
can come up with something better than the rats. One more quick thing, and then we got to get Linda on here to talk about
Yeah.
MLK Day. We invited her and then left her eating all the M&Ms in the green room.
Right.
From our friend, we got an email earlier today from our friend Jana Jimenez with the Melrose Food Drive to remind us or to let us know about the Sunday free meals program every Sunday from 11:30 a.m. to noon at Melrose First United Methodist Church at 645 on Main Street. Our free packaged fresh frozen meals that folks can pick up if they need them. Those are free. There's no Melrose residency requirement. Each guest can choose 3 frozen meals and a homemade treat to go with it that's made by children from the First United Methodist Church. So that's really nice. And we'll throw the
Nice.
link to the Melrose Food Drive up.
Nice.
Yeah, I did that. That is really fantastic. I mean, that's quite a scale for them
Yeah.
to be able to do this every Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed. She's doesn't cease to amaze.
Tireless.
Yes, agreed. Yeah. Okay, let's bring on our guest. My goodness, she's had plenty of time to be in makeup trip at this point. You had plenty of hair and makeup time, Linda Apple.
Wow. I was in my pajamas. Around me. Okay.
So jealous.
And so good to see you.
First of all, happy 90th birthday to your mom. She's an incredible lady, incredible lady. And thanks for being here tonight to talk about all the work that you're doing on the Human Rights Commission. It's a big weekend.
Sure. Well, I don't know if any of you were around yesterday, but it was a great day in Melrose. On behalf of the Human Rights Commission, I want to thank everyone who volunteered. It was a phenomenal effort after, I guess, 3 years of not being able to do this in person. I just want to get the stats here. We completed 325 community service projects this every morning with 13 different host organizations, and just a snippet of Temple Beth Shalom, all the churches, the city, human rights, the health and human services, Follow Your Art, and the list goes on. So I was out and about. I was over at Temple Beth Shalom. Kids were making cards for patients at Melrose Wakefield Hospital, and I talked to lots of people who were, there with their families, and it was really a great day. And then last evening we had a program at the Congregational Church. We invited a gentleman by the name of Roland Gibson. He is an activist and a teacher, educator in Littleton and Harvard, Mass. And he was the METCO director there for many years. And he spoke about his life and about his time as an educator, and sort of paralleled what was going on in his life with MLK's life. It was interesting. And then he talked a little bit about like what we're doing in Melrose, and sort of commending us for our opening the conversation and having these community conversations, and did some interactive work with us. So it was really great. And then the MLK Day Choir, which is this wonderful singing group that is kind of a amalgamation of different groups I've seen around town. They sang a couple of times, and then we ended with We Shall Overcome, and it was just really a great program. So thanks to the Melrose Cultural Council and the one of our other sponsors. I'm sorry, I'm not for remembering who that is, but for supporting the day. So yeah, it was great. The Mass Cultural Council too. So yeah.
Well, congratulations.
It's a great day.
It's great to have it all back.
I really want to give credit to Bonnie Clapp, the chair, because she and one of our other members, Tess Fay, really planned the whole day, and putting all the opportunities online. And Sign Up Genius was genius. It was actually, it was great. It really worked very well, as opposed to everyone meeting at the church in the morning with like thousands of people trying to like launch. This was much easier, much more streamlined. So again, like another silver lining to the pandemic is that, we streamline this process, and I think it works really well. So I think this is here to stay.
I forgot that's how it used to you'd start there and then go off for your assignment. It's so much more convenient and efficient, less driving around. The Bike Ed committee will love that it's less driving around. Go right here.
Yeah.
So Jen, did you say you went to one of the events yesterday?
Yeah, Rosie and I went over to the UU and sat and heard a presentation by the Commission on Disability. We were interested in hearing about the work that they're doing, and they've got it was interesting to hear the personal stories from all the panelists who are on the commission. I didn't know many of them personally. And then they were talking about two things. They have a report on ADA through all of the municipal buildings, like the ADA status of all the municipal buildings that they'll be rolling out. And then another thing that they're working on, I thought this was really, really interesting, is sort of like a toolkit. Like if you're doing an event or hosting a meeting, it's kind of like a tips and toolkit for how to be inclusive and how to think about various ADA, not even ADA requirements, but also more expensive than that, like how to be accommodating and be inclusive, and best practices in that. So I thought that was really interesting, because there's also an arts events toolkit. And so I talked to the guy afterwards about sort of how we could kind of work together with those two things, or like link to their resource, because it's a really, really important thing to consider as you're planning things for the community. So I thought that was really cool to learn about. So that's what we did.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Others? Yeah.
Well, it seems like the Human Rights Commission has now a surge in activity again, which is really exciting. Do you have some things coming up that you can talk about yet?
Yeah, we do. We have in March, we have the potluck, the international potluck that we have done for, I think we've done for years. And I remember when, our kids were at Lincoln, we did that. So we're bringing that back. And thanks to the Lincoln PTO. And we're going to partner with the Lincoln PTO on this great event. So hopefully.
Will that be held at the Lincoln School?
It will be at the Lincoln. Yep. I can find out the exact date. I'm sorry, I'm not remembering right now, but that will happen in March. And then in April, I'm working with one of my colleagues on the commission on Iftar, which is it's during Ramadan, the month of Ramadan. Folks who are practicing, Muslims, they fast from sunrise to sundown. And so Iftar is like the celebratory meal that you have to break the fast. And so we are having a community Iftar celebration on April 8th, I believe is the date. And the plans are just, in motion now. So stay tuned for that, but we're working on that in April. And then in June, we'll have our Pride event again. And we'll also do something around Juneteenth. So we have a lot. Yeah.
Wow.
A lot going on. Yeah, it's great. We have some new members, some new, energy, and Bonnie Clapp is their new chair. And so I'm really pleased with the direction of the commission.
Yeah. Very cool.
That's really great. I've been to the Iftar dinner in the past, and it is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And the food's fantastic. So
Yeah.
I highly recommend that one. And then the international night has been a beloved Lincoln School
tradition.
event. And I'm so happy that now the Human Rights Commission gets to take that and make it truly a citywide event,
Right.
so that the entire city can come in and enjoy kind of a lot of the diversity and cultures that we have in our public school community and in our community.
Yeah. I remember going to that event at Lincoln, and it was very much a community building event for Lincoln, because it is one of the more diverse schools, and it was one of the things I loved so much about it. So that was always really, really fun. It's great to circle people up around food is just the best thing ever.
I recall going to that event feeling like everybody who was participating was really proud to bring something from their culture, from their family, and share it with other people. So it's a spectacular experience. It really is. It was nice.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to make it have a new element where we will have sort of conversation prompts, so that not only are we, celebrating the food, but also really get a chance to talk with each other. And so we'll come up with some prompts along with the PTO to, get people talking to each other, so that you're not just, sitting with people, moving around.
I think that's a great element. So I experienced that when we went to the planning commission was talking about some of the city plans, and they had, instead of like a traditional like PowerPoint, they had some big posters, and each one, did prompt you with something, and you could they had ways you could respond, put a dot on your favorite spot in
Dots,
Melrose
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But it does help get that conversation going, and that's the whole point of it. So that's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So thanks for having me. And yeah, I hope to see all of you at these events. I'm sure I will.
Yeah.
All right.
Before you go, do you want to hear about some other cool things that are coming up in the next couple weeks? Because there's always something good happening.
You mean I can't go put my pajamas back on? Sure.
Just a minute. So on January 27th, the Worklery is going to host board game night. So that should be really fun. 7 to 11. Anybody have anything that they want to see there? Favorite board game?
Stratego. No, I don't know.
Stratego. Wow. Categories. Categories was always a good one.
Categories. Bananagrams.
Yard darts.
Darts. Yeah,
Yeah.
indoor lawn darts.
Indoor lawn darts. Down the
So-
hallway. Down the hallway.
So that game night, by the way, looks like a lot of fun. I think Mel Landon, who runs the Worklery, is trying to get like a regular thing going. So this
Yeah.
is an experiment to come on down, and it's just very easy to participate in. Who knows what's going to happen? So go early and establish, how you want that to go.
Get
over
there
time.
early if you want to be Colonel Mustard.
Right.
In the
Or
conservatory
If you want your favorite Monopoly piece, you got to
with
get
the axe.
right, exactly. And then the very next day, on January 28th, from 6:30 to 9, in real life living room stories, community storytelling at Follow Your Art. They host some really great storytelling events. This one, and it's anything goes. You can show up and sign up for a 5-minute story. There's no particular theme, and it's hosted by our dear friends Rilda Kissel and Christopher Robinson. So it should be a super, super cool, fun night.
So my normal favorite story structure is, of course, slightly incoherent rambling
With a bullhorn.
with and just get when people ask, if people are unclear, you just get louder or use the bullhorn if necessary. But
That
what's
is good
cool?
for
What's
that.
cool about this is they're going to do a little session at 6:30. You can go and kind of do a little workshopy thing and talk out your ideas, and then they're going to do the program, and they advertise it's going to be pretty laid back. So it sounds like a lot of fun to get out and
Cool.
check that out.
Yeah, I forgot about the workshop part. That is true. So check out this and anything else cool happening in Melrose on the Melrose Creative Alliance event listings page. You can sign up to have all that information delivered directly to your inbox every couple of weeks. So
I got mine, but like today or yesterday, Kim?
yeah, we did it twice
Okay.
this month. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
And I think I just want to acknowledge. I think we have a commenter out there, sort of fishing for some things that maybe aren't news. Like Lime bikes haven't been a thing for years. I'm not sure exactly
Yeah.
what's happening in the comments, but
Well, I think the Brahma Bull lives in Winthrop. Was from Melrose, but that's all I got.
Oh, okay.
His
Wow.
profile's pretty locked down.
All right.
But anyway, he's
I didn't see
checking
it.
in. So I think generally about rotaries, I love rotaries. I think we discussed that. And what else did you talk about? Line bikes. I would love for them
Lime
to be
bikes
back.
weren't a thing. That was a hot topic.
I
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss
and-
them.
I
those
do
days, yeah. These are this is kind of a nice nostalgic pre-pandemic. Those were the controversies
That's right.
Right.
before small town
Pre-pandemic
secrets and
Yeah.
Saturday night negotiations to close
Right.
contracts.
Weekend night. That's right. Weekend
my gosh.
negotiations.
I did. The one thing I loved were the electric bikes. Well, we didn't get on the bikes. Well, we tried. And scooters all over when we were in Europe. And
There
they
was
were-
a news article that Paris is considering getting rid of the scooters.
That would be a shame. That would blasphemy. It was so safe also because the roads were half and half. There was half cars and half.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that would be.
I don't know if humanity has found the right solution. What I love and probably can't handle is that thing that's just a big wheel you stand on, and you see guys wearing the helmet and they go in like 25 miles an hour, and you have
Oh,
to
right.
balance on that wheel, and this lights and stuff happen. I mean, it looks like fun, but I might be a little bit out of my league.
Yeah, that's
I
too much for me.
We a video of you trying something like
Yeah.
that?
One of
young
those
man's.
things.
That's the young man's
That's a
game.
young man's game. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, there was like an e-bike show or something in town that was actually super interesting.
Oh, with the
to check
cars.
out.
At
Yeah,
the health
with the
health
cars.
fair, I think, or wasn't that
Yeah.
the health fair or something?
No, it was
maybe?
an electric car showcase.
Oh,
That
okay,
is
right,
cool.
right. There's so many things happening in Melrose that we cover.
That's right.
Well, as the reporter of the show, having to take pictures of every and video of mostly Tom.
Juggling,
I have-
riding a bike.
I
Yeah.
have pretty good recall, so yeah.
Yeah, good. All right. Well,
Just jump both feet off. Sam, get this for sure. Is it just go? No, just level it. Just level it. Just level it. Yep. Holy! Now lean forward and you go. Lean forward? Yeah, you hold my hand. Oh my God. You got it.
So easy peasy,
wow.
just like that.
Yeah, it's definitely you hold my hand. Yeah, you hold my hand.
Oh yeah, pretty soon.
Saturday
That's
night.
that's just the first moments, and then 15 minutes later, I'm zooming down to the orange line. I'm all over town, no problem.
Yes.
That's all it takes.
More like 15 minutes later, that guy has to run beside you.
Right,
Or you're making your way up the hill to Melrose Wakefield.
right, right. In the back of an ambulance.
Right.
All right, that's enough
All right,
shenanigans for
There
this
we
week.
go. Yeah.
Okay, so
Thank you, Linda.
Linda Apple, thank you so much.
On
thanks,
whatever-
Linda.
Thank you, Linda. On whatever your motivation, your mode of transportation is, we will see you around town.